Hello LOL fans! After the latest release of the 11.22 version of LOL, you must be wondering which champions to pick. Don't worry, because in this video, we've got the best champions tier list for you. Let's jump straight into the video with the ADC tiers. First, the S tier. These AD carriers can carry the late game, win lane, and rack up multi-kills with massive damage. If you want to carry games by yourself, play these heroes. At the top of the list is Jhin. Jhin's strength is derived from the new items Eclipse and the Collector, which allow him to develop lethality, increase his burst damage early and late in the game, and kill even more quickly than previously. The second S tier champion is Samira. Samira's new build, which includes Immortal Shield Bow and Bloodthirster, as well as her ultimate Healing and Conqueror, transforms her into a devastating mobile ball of healing and damage in teamfights and skirmishes, and makes her nearly impossible to fight without grievous and crowd control. The champions of ADC A tier are good picks for the bottom lane since they can do a lot of damage, having good laning phases, and play at any elo with tremendous success. As always, due to her versatility, Ashe remains evergreen, while also dealing significant damage, especially after she skills. Her build centers around attack speed and critical strike, both of which have weak items right now. But her crowd control and innate damage in her kit, as well as a good laning phase and a great solo queue pick, keep her relevant. Next up, Draven. The Collector greatly aids Draven as it executes enemies too weak for him, allowing him to use his passive League of Draven. In this patch, Draven is not only viable, but also rather strong. Moving on to the top lane tiers. The top lane S tier champions excel at controlling their lane, putting pressure on opponent towers, ascending the ladder, and dominating teamfights and duels by doing massive damage and having indestructible armor and health pools. Kayle has been completely dominating the top lane since the latest patch was released, with one of the best victory percentages in the game at 55.58%. This is because Kayle's scaling, along with her new Riftmaker gear, makes her invincible in the late game. All she needs to do is survive. The second S tier champion, Malphite, excels at armor, health, and area of effect damage, thus dealing a lot of damage on Sunfire Aegis. Win by casting your ultimate and team fight. That's all there is to it. The A tier champions are excellent laners who will become increasingly difficult to kill as the game progresses and make excellent use of the new mythic items, making them excellent picks for solo queue climbing from the top lane right now. Camille is currently an exceptional duelist, able to dispatch her opponents one-on-one faster than anyone else in the game. Because of the improvements to Trinity Force and because her build is otherwise unchanged, she is extremely difficult to deal with in split-push circumstances, and she can quickly snowball off of defeating her lane opponents, making her a great solo queue pick. The last top lane A tier champion is Ornn. Ornn's ability to boost old items only adds to the devastating nature of the new epic items he and his team create. When you combine this with Ornn's team fighting ability, natural tankiness, and higher than average burst for a tank, you have a kit that can be deployed to devastating effect in solo queue, carrying games just by being present. We have the mid lane tiers next. The S tier champions can dominate their lanes throughout the game with tremendous burst damage, instantly dissolving opponent carriers' health bars and easily carrying team fights and objective fight. The first champion on this list is Viktor. Viktor's domination is based on his ability to scale hard by collecting hex fragments, improving his abilities and causing massive amounts of damage. He may also win lanes by zoning enemies off the wave with his crowd control, movement speed, and long-range abilities until he obtains the Luden's Tempest and Lich Bane, at which time he takes off. Now Zed. Zed is one of the strongest assassins in the game right now thanks to upgrades to Duskblade of Drakthar and the general efficiency of other lethality items, as well as the addition of ability Haste, which all increase Zed's burst. Zed is ideal for solo queue since he can solo carry games by removing opponent squishies and escaping safely with the new invisibility ability of Duskblade. The mid lane A tier champions are excellent laners who can solo queue any game because of their rapid burst, healing, wave control, and teamfight utility and damage. On the top of the list, we have Katarina. The power of this character has increased right after the latest patch went live. She may credit the new mythic item Night Harvester for this, as the haste it offers her other items allows her to use her cooldowns, which are already low, and resetting much more frequently. When you combine this with her ability to turn Lich Bane into a full AP build, her burst has skyrocketed, making her a terror for opponent teams in teamfight. Moving on to Malzahar. Malzahar is doing exceptionally well right now, owing to his notoriety in the fight against enemy assassins. When they roam, he may shove them in, and when they attack him or his teammates, he can use his ultimate to immobilize them. Malzahar is in this tier because he can counter some of the game's strongest champions like Zed and Katarina. Let's talk about jungle tiers now. The S tier junglers can put pressure on the enemy early, clear their jungle to farm quickly, and dominate in objective-based team fights in the middle and late game. This group of champions with no obvious weaknesses are currently dominating the solo queue. The new Barmy's Cinder into Sunfire AG's item build path benefits Amumu the most. It helps him be unkillable early on, clear the jungle swiftly with its area of effect damage mixed with his, and scale exceptionally well into the late game. Amumu is also quite effective with some of the new damage items, allowing him to deal great damage in teamfight even if they occur early. His flaws from before the patched launch have vanished, and his obscenely high 59% win rate has landed him in the S tier. Now, Hecarim has been on top for a very long time, and the latest patch makes no difference. Trinity Force still functions for him as well as it did before the change. He farms really quickly, has a powerful burst, and his ganks are unavoidable beyond level 6. Although the A-tier junglers have flaws, they're still excellent choices owing to their versatility, damage, farming abilities, and utility in objective fights and team fight. Kha'Zix is one of the biggest beneficiaries of Drakthar's new Duskblade. Its ability to make him invisible after kills effectively allows him to go invisible 6 times per team battle, triggering his passive several times and significantly enhancing his ability to burst carriers, reset enemy teams, and multi-kill opponent teams. The second one, Nunu, like Amumu, is mostly successful because of the strength of Barmy's Cinder and Sunfire Aegis. He can clear significantly faster than he did previously, and he scales into the late game better as well. Lastly, we have the support tiers. The S tier support are currently dominating the game by taking advantage of lethal lethality builds on AD carriers and assisting win 2 vs 2 engagements in bottom lane with tankiness, burst, harass, peel, and crowd control. Leona is the queen of all-in rallies, and her engagement is incredible. Her crowd control and damage amplification passive synergize effectively with this playstyle in a bot lane when multiple carriers are building lethality and can burst. The new Locket of the Iron Solari is ideal for her because it lets her and her entire squad become tankier, which complements her team fighting ability and playstyle nicely. Lulu is excellent peel support and the bane of all assassins. In the current meta, where several assassins are incredibly powerful, this makes her great, because she can cover her carry and crowd control the enemy in 3 separate ways, enemy assassins and rendered worthless. The A-tier group of supporters are ideal for solo queue climbing right now. They can easily win their lanes, and as the game progresses, they may peel for their AD carry and continue dealing with enemy champions with a mix of crowd control and damage. We have Pantheon at the top of this list. Pantheon's capacity to all-in lanes with lethality has turned him into a primary role. His damage is greater than any other support in the game, and his targeted stun and damage blocking abilities make him incredibly helpful in bot lane 2 vs 2, as well as later in team fights when he can convert to predominantly peeling opposing assassins. Last but not least, we have Brand to finish this list. At present, Brand is the most exemplary mage support in the game. His damage is incredibly high, which amplifies his damage over time significantly more than before the patch. In bottom lane 2 vs 2s, the Dragon Fight, this paired with his area of effect ultimate and passive, long range abilities and crowd control makes him deadly. That's it for today's video guys. Comment down below your favorite champion and we'll see you next time.